Welcome to Wisconsin in Focus. I'm Benjamin Yant. I am the Wisconsin correspondent here for the Center Square. Usually, I'd be joined by Bruce Walker, who is the Great Lakes regional editor, but he's taking advantage of the wonderful lakes and doing a little fishing this weekend, so you're stuck with me again. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, three letters that could spell huge trouble for Wisconsin's to-be $80-something billion two-year state budget. Governor Evers has drawn a line in the sand over a Republican plan to trim $32 million out of the University of Wisconsin's $6.5 billion budget because the university is insisting upon spending it on DEI administrators. We've talked about this before here on Wisconsin in Focus and certainly written about it before over at the Center Square. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos, the top Republican in the Wisconsin Assembly, has decided that he does not want to see the university spend money on DEI. He identified about $13.5 million each year that pays for nearly 200 DEI administrators on various UW campuses, though most of them, as you would expect, are at the big schools, Madison and Milwaukee. Vos, as we wrote early in May, went to the university and said, hey, I would like to see you redistribute this money. I would like to see this money spent in classrooms on things that are necessary to give Wisconsin the workers of the future, as he said. As we have reported time after time, UW President Jay Rothman says they need to focus on in-demand jobs if they are going to win the war for talent, as he calls it. Well, this week, as lawmakers are preparing to finalize that two-year $80-something billion state budget, the University of Wisconsin's budget came up for a vote, and we got into the fight again over DEI. Reporters pressed Vos on Wednesday for answers about whether this really is going to be a sticking point in the state budget, and Vos essentially said, yeah.
Well, the goal is really fairly simple. It's to say that if you're at the UW system on any one of the campuses, you should be able to be taught and you should be able to learn. It should not be indoctrination where you're only allowed to have one point of view. And we use taxpayer dollars, which, as they tell me, we don't have enough people to be in engineering. We don't have enough folks who are teaching an awful lot of careers, but boy, are they able to find millions of dollars to put money into a curriculum and to an ideology, because that's really what DEI is. For people on the left, it's become their new religion. They no longer go to church on Sunday, but boy, are they trying to make sure that everybody is evangelized to on campus, that there's only one acceptable viewpoint. That's not what I think taxpayers should be funding. So we gave them more than enough time to say, let's redouble our efforts to take the money which is going into promoting your new religion and saying, let's promote economic development and careers that we know we need and filling jobs that should be taught to kids in Wisconsin. They've kind of ignored that. So if they have extra money, I think it should be taken back and the taxpayers of Wisconsin will get a chance to use it for something better than indoctrinating kids with left-wing ideology.
If you think that those comments helped quell the anger over this issue, you're 1,000% wrong. Of course, folks over at the university have said that, look, diversity, equity, and inclusion is now a part of life. You had Madison's State Senator Kelda Roys say that this is Republicans picking a culture war and deciding that they want to tell university students what it is that they should learn. The counter from Republicans is that these are state lawmakers dealing with a state budget for a state university. Now, what this means for the state budget remains to be seen. Governor Evers earlier in the week said that he may not sign the new state budget if Vos and Republicans continue this push against diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is $32 million, less than 0.5% of the university's $6.5 billion budget. It is an infinitesimal fraction of an amount of money in Wisconsin's $80-something billion two-year state budget. Will the governor actually hold up or scuttle the entire spending plan in order to get a win for these few DEI administrators? No one really knows. That showdown is coming. Wisconsin lawmakers have to have a budget. Statutorily, constitutionally, they have to have a budget to the governor's desk by July 4th. Like I said, it remains to be seen. You can keep up with his story and more stories over at the Center Square. I am Benjamin Yount, the Wisconsin correspondent, filling in for Bruce Walker. Please subscribe, and thanks for listening.